What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Amos. In this video, I'm going to go over all the best trade you could have caught today on Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. Beautiful day, multiple good opportunities to scalp 15, 20, 25 handles. So let me go over all the best trades and what I judge being A+. So starting on the day here, as you guys know, I always trade unfilled 15-minute fair value gaps, hourly gaps. In this case, it was an unfilled 15-minute gap. Here, we saw the sell side liquidity sweep, so the London low sweep. Then, what I like to see when I have a displacement candle is, can I play this third candle? Can we close back inside the range and create an unfilled fair value gap right above us so I could potentially try to long back into it? Okay, and I would use an inverse or a breaker block in order to enter back towards this unfilled. Here, what happened, we swept the previous candle's low, closed back inside the range, and we also had this unfilled 15-minute gap. So yes, I had this as my drawn liquidity, but since we're far away from this gap, and if I go here on this 3-minute chart, we have the singular leg that created the sweep here has one big 3-minute fair value gap. I wouldn't be bullish until we disrespect this 3-minute gap. Okay, so for me, I can see that on this 3-minute chart, even if I have an unfilled fair value gap above me, I know this is my draw, but I can't be long biased until we disrespect this 3-minute bearish fair value gap, because this is the area where aggressive sellers are located on the lower time frame. Okay, so basically, what is my analysis with this with those candles right here on this 15? We swept London low, so I'm bullish. We're failing to close below the previous candle's low on this 15-minute chart. We're bullish, and we also have an unfilled 15-minute fair value gap right above us, so I'm bullish again. Okay, here, this is my framework. This is my roadmap that tells me my bias. Then this is where I scale down to the 1, 2, 3-minute chart to find reasons on why I should enter. So here, 3-minute chart, swept sell side, and then let's see what happened. We pulled down, and right here is the exact moment where we created an SMT divergence with ES. So ES swept this internal low while NQ didn't. Okay, created a higher low. So here in this case, it was a good opportunity to look for longs when we disrespect this bearish fair value gap. Okay, so here we disrespect it on this candle. We create the order block paired with the inversion fair value gap. You don't need to wait and be a dick for a tick to see the pullback here on this 3-minute inverse. You could definitely put a limit order inside this order block, tighter stop, 1-to-1 risk to work back into the unfilled. Okay, really good trade here in my opinion. Definitely a valuable trade. And also using the framework, you have an unfilled above you, which is what is really the framework behind an unfilled. It's an area with low volume. Okay, on this 15-minute chart, what can I see? When we create bearish gaps and they're still unfilled, I want to target them ASAP, because I know that the transaction between buyers and sellers was not fair. Okay, sellers were too aggressive, so inside this area there is low volume, and the market, in order to be healthy, it needs to find fair value inside those inefficiencies. Okay, those fair value gaps is how we call them. Okay, so here I would have this as my target, which is the 15-minute unfilled gap. So here I would go long, limit order, and then let me place the limit inside the order block right here, and let's see. Right there's this is the candle where it should pick you up. Stop loss right below this candle's low. Take profit got hit in literally 3 minutes. So this is where you would get out. Okay, really good trade, good framework. You use the inversion for value gap model to find your scalp back towards the drawn liquidity, which was your 15-minute unfilled. Really good. Then let me go over another trade you could have caught. Same thing here. You displaced aggressively, and when I see those kind of candles, this first candle, second candle, when the second candle is displacing, I know I could potentially be trading the third candle if it shifts and those sellers are starting to be aggressive and we're failing to close above the previous candle's high. Okay, so here what happened, we swept the high, we closed back, we have an unfilled right below us, so I am short bias. And I want to see this 15-minute gap get filled. So then I would scale down to a 1-minute chart and find a reason on why I should enter back down. Okay, so here in this case, we have here on this 1-minute chart, we pulled up, we held this 1-minute gap here to the tick. So here I have a high, low, higher high. If I can close below the opening price of those series of down close candles before the break of structure to the upside, this is going to be a change in a state of delivery, which is one of my entry models, and which is a confirmation that those sellers are starting to squeeze those buyers, and you should enter shorts back down towards the unfilled. Okay, the unfilled is this low here. So here, let's just wait for us to disrespect this area right here. You disrespect it, so any pullbacks towards this area is a really good play for a 1-to-1 risk toward back down towards the unfilled. Okay, so here best play would have been a limit order. I don't know exactly if you got filled here. Well, let's see. So you put your limit order right here. Unfortunately, you didn't get filled and didn't get picked up in this area, but this would have been the trade possibly and the best possible opportunity for the short scalp. Okay, it's really hard to find those kind of scalps here, just shorting market right here. It's way better to wait for a pullback, because anyways, you're most likely going to find some resistance, some buyers here that will push price up, then find a seller to drive you back down towards the unfilled. So here it was an opportunity. You could have caught it somewhere inside this range here, and looking at lower time frames, I would argue that it was a really hard trade to catch. Still a trade that respected the framework overall, and you knew the bias just looking at candlesticks and also unfilled fair value gaps. Then there was a really good trade right here that I really liked, and I took on Tradify TV, but I lagged, so I couldn't really make the best out of it. But here, as you guys see, we have the same kind of pattern. We're displacing to the upside. We have a 15-minute bullish fair value gap being created. What do I know? When we create those gaps and we're failing to close above the previous candle's high, and there's signs of aggression from those sellers and signs of weakness from those buyers, then I know this gap becomes a magnet. Okay, I know this is an area with low volume. Buyers were way too strong. So then for the market to be healthy, we need to find fair value inside this inefficiency, so this fair value gap. So here, when I saw this close, I knew the chances of us hitting this internal low was way higher than this internal high in the next 15 minutes. So here, I go down to this 1-minute chart, same exact pattern. Is there any reasons for me to enter shorts? Now, it's not really clear. We do have an inversion for value gap right here. That is pretty clean. Is there any inversions on the 2-minute? And right here, there is a clean inversion for value gap right here. So now I could definitely try to enter shorts. Market, stop loss right above this candle's high. Take profit at a 1-to-1 risk toward back down towards the internal unfilled gap. So this would be the play. Let's see what it does. As you guys can see, in a few minutes you hit the target. Unfortunately here, it hit the target to the tick and started to reverse. So here, if I go on this 15-minute chart, I just marked out this 15-minute chart, 15-minute gap in a bad way, but this was the low on the 15-minute chart. So it would have hit the target exactly at 12:21. Okay, I just marked it out wrongly here. But here, if I go on this 2-minute chart, the sale would have been here. Okay, let me just do it again. The sell would have been here. Stop loss above this high. Take profit inside this 15-minute unfilled. And took 2, 4, and 6 minutes. Okay, you guys see 15-minute gap is exactly this low and this box right here. Okay, first candle's up wick didn't touch into the third candle's down wick. So here, this is when you should look for pullbacks. This is the signs that price is most likely going to create a retracement. Okay, one thing that I said in the backtesting session today is that the market creates highs. Let's say if it's bullish, a lot of people like to play the trend. Okay, the trend is your friend, we all know this. But when we create a trend, we have highs, lows, higher highs, low higher lows right here, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. And then the thing is, a lot of people like to enter into those pullbacks here to create, basically to predict that a new high is going to get created. I would argue that the best possible plays in a trend would be to catch the opposite trade, the opposite trade, basically the counter trend play, okay, back towards an inefficiency, because this is the area that you'll find the most consistent trades, in my opinion, because here there is so much potential good opportunities because of the fact that you're overextended. Okay, since you're overextended and price keeps running to the upside and you're creating those gaps, when you have the confirmation that price is failing to accept above the previous candle's high, and then you have the right structure on the 1 minute chart, this is a really good sign to find a potential pullback in the market for a quick scalp, 10, 15, 25 handles. So these were the best plays of the day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and learned something new today. You guys know I'm already repping the Tradify TV merch. I'm live there every single week, literally every single day of the week at 12 p.m. EST, from 12 to 1 p.m. EST. So if you guys want to watch me there, I'm live trading there every single day. Also, if you guys want to see me live trade the strategy every single day from 10 to 11 a.m. and when keeping track of all the results, then hit this link down below to join my VIP Discord. And you guys already know, use code AMOS for the highest discounts on Tradify. This is what funds all the giveaways, and this is what funds my channel also. I appreciate you guys so much, and I see you guys on the next one. Peace out.